Welcome to another episode of Whiskies. All right, so this week we're going to do 5 whiskeys you should have in your bar, the budget list. So everything on this list is under 30 bucks. So you don't have to spend a lot of money to get your bar up and to still be able to get some good juice and not get rot gut. So we're trying to help you to spend less, but avoid getting that horrible rot gut, right? Still good whiskey at a very reasonable price. And that's why we're going to do 5 whiskeys plus one. We always got to do plus one. And the plus one is because I don't have that one currently in my bar. But number 5, we are doing them in order, what I feel the order should be. Number 5 on the list is Mellow Corn Bottled in Bond. You know, a lot of times people see this and they pass it up. And I'll be honest with you, this is not only is it a good mixer, it is truly a good sipper. You're gonna get in this Mellow Corn, you're gonna get those dry banana chips. It's gonna have sweet corn in there, sweet oak, rich vanilla flavors. It drinks not hot, but it is 100 proof. And so it's gonna carry through those cocktails. It is a unique sip because of the high corn mash bill in it. I think it's 80% corn. And so it is truly a good whiskey and it's cheap. It's only 20 bucks. Come on, 20 bucks for a 4-year-old whiskey, bottled in bond, 100 proof. You cannot beat that. And they really done a good job with this. In fact, if you look it up, it won a lot of awards too as well. So although you see it a lot and you pass it up a good sip. Just saying, that's number 5. So number 4. Now number 4 and number 3, I fumbled a little bit to figure out which order it should be, and I settled in on this one. Is Old Granddad and Old Granddad 114. Now, Old Granddad 114 is a phenomenal sip, and the first time I had it, believe it or not, was this year. I've had this particular bottle for 2 years, just never cracked it open yet. But a friend of mine had brought one by when the Detroit Lions had their run in the playoffs. We was all over here watching the game, and he brought it by, and I took a couple samples out of his bottle, and I was thoroughly impressed. You know, it has a lot of rice spices. It has some of those brown sugar notes you're gonna get, rice spices. It is a proofy puppy now. 114, to me, it drinks hotter than that, but it is a very good sip. It is a very good sip. So I highly suggest maybe drop some water in it, maybe an ice cube or 2, kind of let it sit and just let it open up a little bit because it drinks hotter than 114. And 114 is high enough, at least to me, probably because of those rice spices. But this is number 4 on the list, and it's only $25. You can't beat that. All right, so number 3, everyone know what this bottle is. This is the Buffalo Trace, the staple. And this one right here is a phenomenal sip. This one is more of an easier sip. It is 90 proof. A lot of people call it a smooth sipper. Some people call it a daily sipper. I personally don't drink every day. So what I like to call is a go-to sip. You're ready to have a nice, easy sip. Buffalo Trace is one of those whiskeys you can go to and enjoy yourself and have some phenomenal juice. You're gonna get vanilla, toffee, a little bit of caramel. It's not overly complex, but it is truly a good sip and it's reasonably priced. I believe Buffalo Trace runs about $27 now. It used to be 21 bucks, but then prices continue to go up, unfortunately. But it's just still under $30. So phenomenal sip, 90 proof, drinks very well, and it tastes better than these 2. But these mix better than this does because it's low proof. So you're gonna mix with these because of the higher proof. It's gonna carry more through that cocktail. But if you want something to sip on, it's still a good mixer too as well. But if you want something to sip on, this one will be considered a go-to whiskey. All right. Number 2 is Evan Williams Bottled in Bond. This one right here is truly a phenomenal bourbon. It is. You're going to get a lot of complexity in this one. You're going to get citrus, caramel, vanilla. It's got that black pepper note in there. You're going to get some of those oak tannins or those seared oaks in there. It is truly a good sip. There's nothing to play with. It is 100 proof. It is a good mixer and a good sipper. Some people call it a daily sipper. I like to call it a go-to whiskey. It has a lot of good flavor note. It is complex, Not overly complex, but it is complex. It has a lot of different notes you can pull and sit with and get to know. But this is number 2 on my list. Now the number 1, the numero numero whiskey that I have in my bar right now is, you already know what it is, don't you? Early Times Bottled in Bond. Early Times Bottled in Bond is truly a phenomenal sip. This is such a good whiskey. You get a liter of it. You're going to get the shortbread cookie, the vanilla, a little bit of chocolate in it. Cinnamon lingers a little bit in there. It has not a long finish, but it does have a decent finish. And it's a liter. And it's $23, $23.99 to be exact. You cannot beat the price. Now, we did mention that there's a plus one. And where that plus one to me will fall, probably, it's tough. You know what? I'm going to say it for a second. And that's the Wild Turkey 101. Wild Turkey 101 is truly a phenomenal sip. Not only is it a good sip, now this one drinks better, to be honest with you. This one has more flavor in it if you're drinking just for sipping. But this one makes a phenomenal cocktail. This one makes a better cocktail than every last one of these up here. I remember some time ago, we had some friends over and I was making them some cocktails with the Wild Turkey, the 101, and they was tearing me up. There was a bunch of them. So I was like, man, I want to keep giving them my Wild Turkey. So I gave them some cheap whiskey and they could tell immediately. I tried to give them some rock gut and they could tell immediately. So I will say that this one, the Wild Turkey 101, is probably the best mixer out of all of these here, out of all of these cheap whiskeys. Cheaper whiskeys, not cheap as in flavor, but cheap as in price. So you're looking at all of these bourbons are under $30. You can't beat that. So there you go. That's my budget list. Did I get it right? Do you see something that I'm missing on here? I do have one that I haven't tried yet. I bought a bottle that I have not tried yet, and I was actually recommended by someone. And I look forward to trying Cooper Crafts. I've yet to try that one yet. And so we look forward to trying that one. I believe that is under $30. I think it's $33. So that does fall into the next tier. But that's all I have for you today. Like we always say, please drink moderately and responsibly. And please like, subscribe, comment. Give me your opinions on what I got right, what I got wrong. If you would change anything in this list, maybe the order, or maybe take out a bottle, replace it with one. 5 budget whiskeys. All right, guys. Y'all have a good day.